I'm going off memory from the stuff I've heard on YouTube. So it's just an old man's memory, an old rickety rackety vampire with dust coming out his ears and ass. All right, so
don't sue him. Don't sue him or cancel him. It's his opinion.
So I'm just going on by memory of what I've read or heard. I don't read a lot, so it's what I've heard on YouTube. So I guess
it's like, don't sue him.
I guess CM Punk is like a lot of control or all of control of the Saturday show. But there was something where Jack Perry wanted to do something, but he wanted to use real glass. I'm not sure what it was exactly. CM Punk said no. Also, like, advised the same thing from like Tony Schiavone and some other production people. And I guess it was a rift. No fight or anything, but whatever. It was Jack Perry was upset or something. Pretty much probably thought to himself, fuck this old guy. He doesn't know what's up with the future. You know, we're the future. But which I get that too. You know, there's a lot of sides to look at it. You can easily sit there and go, hey, man, these old dudes are holding it back. Because for an example, and I took it and I didn't say anything. So it's a different generation now. They say some shit, you know. So when I went to WWE and I was working Edge, WWF, we'd have matches on house shows. And the agents would come back and go, oh, you got to stop that. You got to take that suplex out. And you got to do this. And you only got to do that. And you got to do that. And I go, why? They go, and one of them said, hey, the main events are getting upset and this and that. Because basically you're outstage them. So they sat there and picked away every bit of offense I got. And then their biggest argument when they let me go, besides my injuries, was he has no offense. They took every offense away. But I took it instead of saying, no, fuck you. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. I went along with the program, and that didn't work for me, right? So maybe that's what they feel is happening, and they're just standing up for themselves. So who knows? So I can see both sides. I honestly can see both arguments at the same time. I see the safety argument. Like, what moron wants to go through glass and risk tearing an artery or something and costing the company money in the long run, medical this, and then paying them to sit home. And I get that side, too. I see both sides. But apparently, they left, and then I guess it comes to pay-per-view or not pay-per-view, whatever it was in Wembley. And I wasn't there, and I haven't watched it, and I don't know it. I mean, I do talk to Miro, but I didn't ask him about it. He just told me, it's all bullshit. Everything's bullshit. Everything you hear is bullshit. That's all he said. Miro only said everything's bullshit. Yeah, because I joked. I said, don't get choked out by CM Punk. He just laughed. like, can't believe everything you hear. So, but I think they're just like friends, actually. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't even ask him, really. You know, I just made a joke, you know, like, so. But I guess Jack Perry's on the pre-show at Wembley. Said something to the effect, and I don't know the exact words, come doing out by memory. Just real glass, so cry a river or something. Go cry a river or something like that. So
like, it's real glass. What was it, like, bury me a river? Is that what he said?
Cry me a river, yeah. So I guess that happened prior. I was like, at the ending of the pre-show.
This is what it says here, by the way. I'm like, what?
So that happened at the end of the pre-show, and then CM Punk was the first match with Samoa Joe, as I read and heard. And I guess it was I don't know who confronted who, whatever. Eventually it ended up apparently with CM Punk in a chokehold. I don't know what type of chokehold. I don't know if it was a Darth or a front face lock or a rear naked. I don't know. So
I think that leads to the next question, though. So
but
yeah, who has the final say on what you can and can't do?
Well, this is what I'm getting to. Like what I'm saying, that like when we've gone back to talking about competition, and I go, that's not really, but somebody's got to get control of things, man. Somebody's got to go, and that somebody's Tony Khan, because every final say so and everything that happened, Vince McMahon was the final say so and everything. Like the head, it started. It didn't go past him. If he didn't want it to happen, it didn't happen. If he wanted to, so you got to rewind this back, and and I've said it many times on here that like there's just way too much shit going on in the locker rooms and amongst the talent and stuff in AEW. You got to take control. Tony Khan, bless his heart. I mean, I don't think he has experience in this shit. This is like a bunch of high school, grown ass men, fighting amongst things when you're trying to make money. And all he's trying to do is make everybody happy and like have a really fun. Like he's like trying to present wrestling in a different way. Hey, this is wrestling. It should be fun. You should be able to have the style of matches that you're suited for, or you choose
basically
to,
what you tell us at practice also.
Choose to have, yeah. But then, so it's not the WWE system. You're not being told exactly how to have your matches. You have all this creatively free will, but at the same time,
can be good and bad.
Yes, it's like you're giving all these people this. They got a false sense of like, I'm running shit. Like, no, I'm not doing that, and this and this and that. But these guys take control and say, ultimately, yes, I'm giving you free will, but there's a cap on it, and I have the last say on this shit. And he's got to stand up and do that. So he's got to sit them down, and I don't know why he hasn't. He's got to sit them down and go, bro, like. You just signed you a bunch of the Young Bucks, the Elite, and these guys, all this, and CM Punk. You guys got to do business, you know. I'm giving you all this money. You're making money. You're doing this and this and that. All I ask you to do is to sit down and do business. You're not always you're gonna have to wrestle people. You're gonna have to work people as you go through just the school, and as you move up there, you might not really like, but. It's what you got to do because it's part of the do business to be part of that company. You got to get there to get to the bigger picture where everybody makes money, the company's successful. You grow in the ratings, you keep growing in ratings, and then you're competing. Then AEW is competing. But with chaos within, you're never going to grow to be able to compete with a machine.
No,
like, they're a machine. WWE is a fucking war machine. Black Sabbath sang about them. You know, it's a war machine.
Yeah.
AC/DC war machine. They're down here, and it could be if they would. But Tony Khan's got to take control and really sit down, and you don't have to fire everybody. He can just fine everybody, and then get them all on the same page, and then he can lift the fines if they get on the same page or whatever. I mean, but it's got to get some kind of control. There's got to be. People have to answer for their chaos. You can't just have chaos, and that's why. I mean, but. It is a totally different product. We'll go back to the competition thing that we were talking about and the numbers and stuff like that. I don't think it's competition in a sense like that. It won't be for a long time, but it will never get there if they don't get in-house under control. Yeah. That's all. And I like AEW, and I like a lot of the styles, and I like a lot of people that are there. I'm friends with the Young Bucks. I'm friends with Matt Hardy. I'm friends with Jeff. I train Miro, you know. Yeah. I like CM Punk, and I get along with him. He's so nice to me. When I went back to go do the thing, he's the first one to hug me at AEW and made me feel welcome there. So, like, you know, how can you dislike that? I mean, just because they don't get along, I don't know. But I see both sides. I get this training in the school with all the young. I see how the generational and the movement and how things are swinging. And I get it all. I see both sides. And I came in through wrestling in many different generations, like very old school. This, and then I was like one of the ones pushing the boundaries, doing a vampire thing. Like, you're like, the flip, you're doing a vampire? You know, imagine how they looked at that. I looked at it much like they did the flipping and all the other stuff that you see now, different high spots and matches with all these sequences in them and stuff. So I see both sides. I get both sides, but somebody's just got to be able to hone that all in and say, listen, you know, can we all just get along?
I like that.